clothing company getting a lot of backlash online over a line of sweatshirts. Natisha Lance is here to explain.
Ron, they are being called tasteless and disgusting. So take a look and see if you agree here. Sweatshirts decorated with holes and the names of schools involved in mass shootings printed across the front. The shirts come from a menswear brand, Bestroy. The company posted these photos from their recent fashion show on Instagram, and the post went viral and people are talking about it, and they had very few kind things to say. So Katie Wilkes here said there are so many ways to use fashion and clothing to make socio-political commentary. This isn't it. Vicky Soto Memorial, which is a nonprofit founded in the name of a Sandy Hook teacher and victim, Vicky Soto posted, "What you are doing is absolutely disgusting, hurtful, wrong, and disrespectful. Our pain is not to be used for your fashion." And this user wanted to know, actually, asking the question, if the brand is donating to any survivor causes or something similar, or if they're just making a buck for themselves. So the company says it didn't plan to sell these hoodies, but is now reconsidering. It also told NBC News, here's a statement here, the designs were intended to treat the incidents with reverence and respect. Going on to say, we want to make a comment on gun violence and the type of gun violence that needs preventative attention. Well, to remind you, close to 100 people died in those 4 mass shootings. Virginia Tech 32, Sandy Hook 26, Columbine 13, and Stoneman Douglas 17 victims there, guys.
All right, nothing.